It's been 10 years. Isn't that crazy? It's been 10 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 10th annual Shake My Head Awards. Shake My Head number 24 goes to Lizzo. She showed her booty cheeks and stole our innocence. She scarred the little kids at a basketball game. Listen, these parents came out to see their favorite team lose. They didn't come to see you. This wasn't the MTV Video Music Awards. This wasn't a festival. This wasn't her concert. It was a basketball game. Time and place. Those are two words that matter, people. And I don't care if she's a size 22 or a size 2. She's gonna get to shake my head. Shake My Head number 23 goes to Gucci, Prada, Burberry, and all the high fashion brands that continue to troll us in 2019. Last time I checked, nooses were high fashion in 1885. Blackface was high fashion in 1923, not in 2019. Shake My Head also goes to all the people who continue to support them. We get mad 1 second, we say we're gonna cancel them, and next thing you know, Gucci, Prada, making money off of us still. So shake my head to all y'all. Shake My Head number 22 goes to Michael Stop and Frisk Bloomberg for even thinking about running for president. Really? So he goes around and he's doing all the political things. He went to a black church, check. Apologized for all the policies targeting black and brown people, check. Pretended to care, check. Well, guess what, Mr. Bloomberg? We don't believe you. My head number 21 goes to ASAP Rocky for being too brand new for the plight of his people. He was in Soho. He was in Beverly Hills. He didn't care. Then he went all the way to Sweden and got reminded that he was a black man. After all that and being in prison for 2 weeks, he became Malcolm X. He became Mandela. But guess what? You're still getting to shake. Shake My Head number 20 goes to the Golden Globes for snubbing some good movies and TV shows. When They See Us, amazing cinematics, amazing acting. Snubbed. Euphoria, amazing story, great acting. I love Zendaya. Snubbed. Watchmen, diversity, important storyline. Okay, even if this is a sci-fi show, it's really, really well acted and well scripted. Snubbed. But why are we surprised? This is Hollywood, and this is what they do. I think it's time that we start our own award show, starting with Shake My Head. All we know is sorry, so we gotta be better. Shake My Head number 19 goes to whoever started the hashtag, not my Ariel. Are you really telling me that America is that racist that we can't even have an imaginary character be black? Let's remember one thing. This entire angry hashtag is about a fish. Everyone is mad that a fish got a tan. We can't even diversify the sea without discrimination. Y'all get that. Shake My Head number 18 goes to Disney for putting the final nail in the Star Wars coffin. Whether you loved it or hated it, Star Wars ended up being like that best friend who goes and gets a boyfriend. And then all of a sudden, she's acting brand new. And she's acting out of character until she ends up being the person that you used to know. Disney. I want to say, it's above me now. So Shake My Head number 17 goes to the woman who had the nerve to call a hotel attendant the N-word and then show up wanting a room. Well, guess what he said? It's above me now. And that was my slogan for 2019. It's above me now. And you know I work in customer service, so I had to say that a whole lot. No, the customer is always right. Anyway, in this case, the customer is not always right. And this lady gets to shake my head. Shake my head number 16 goes to Oprah Winfrey for leaving Neverland. I mean, this was just bizarre to me. You thought it was a good idea to do this 10 years after his death? I mean, more than 10 years after his death. And then to bring on two people who've been known to lie? And what was the point of this? I didn't get it. And I just thought Oprah was playing herself for this. Okay? I mean, you go after a dead man, but you never go after the Harvey Weinstein, who you happen to know. I don't know. There might be something behind that. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I do believe in Area 51, though. Oprah, you get to shake my head. Shake my head number 15 goes to the news anchor who felt comfortable comparing her black male coworker to a gorilla. He kept his composure, but I'm telling you, if it was anybody less professional, she would have had a bunch of new nicknames by the end of the broadcast. He may have forgiven her, but we give her a shake my head. Shake my head number 14 goes to the Grammy Awards for picking J-Lo to do the Motown tribute. I'm still in shock, okay? I'm gonna just pretend that whole performance didn't happen. You telling me Smokey Robinson wasn't available? Was Miguel on vacation? Was her leaving people on red? Did Jasmine Sullivan say no? I just can't. Were the New Edition kids not available? The Grammy Awards has done some things over the years that are very questionable and just straight up disrespectful. However, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. For me. Will I still be watching next year? Yes, because I need something to talk about. But they still get the Shake My Head award. Shake My Head number 13 goes to the police officer who took a Tatiana Jefferson's life. He shot her through a window. What was supposed to be a wellness check ended up in cold-blooded murder. Plain and simple. She was playing video games with her nephew. She wasn't threatening. He didn't tell her that he was there. He didn't ring the bell. He didn't knock on the door. Nothing. He shot her through the window. I don't know how these people end up on the police forces. I don't know what kind of background checks they actually do, or if they do background checks. But clearly, something is not happening right. Because this has just been happening way too much this entire decade. I mean, we know the whole history of police brutality and racism in this country, but this is just ridiculous. So he gets to shake my head. Shake My Head number 12 goes to Felicity Huffman and Aunt Becky and friends for raising mediocre children and trying to cheat the system. Mind you, they're already rich, so they can afford educational opportunities that the rest of us commoners cannot. They shot for the stars and landed among the criminals. For that selfish decision, you get to shake my head. Mind you, they're probably going to end up back on the streets because they got money to pay for good lawyers. Shake My Head number 11 goes to Mr. Mark Zuckerberg of this platform right here, Facebook, for allowing political ads regardless of truth. You know these political ads are directed at certain voters and they're lies, but he didn't care. Mind you, he made sure to get rid of people like Louis Farrakhan and other folks and activists. And if you post a video about anything too black or too political, they get rid of it. They flag it. However, you can lie in a political ad that is directed at voters. How does that work? Where do they do that at? Well, here we do the Shake My Head. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Shake My Head Lifetime Achievement Award. And this year it goes to George Zimmerman for being a waste of space and a constant source of pain to the family of Trayvon Martin, the young boy that he murdered in cold blood. Not only did he kill this child, he decided to go sell the gun that he killed him with at a gun show. Shake my head to the people who bought it, but that's a whole other can of worms. He also has made appearances, and to top it all off, he's suing the family and friend of Trayvon Martin for $100 million. Like they are not still grieving. They're always going to be reminded of this. This man needs to be under a jail or under the dirt. And even then, I'm sure he'll try to make people miserable. Be better, do better, love better. Shake my head number 10. You already know. The MTA. Listen, I can't do this list without the MTA being on it, because every year it's something. And this year, they hired thousands of cops to do what? Serve and protect? No. Did they train them better? Not at all. They hired them to patrol the subways for people who are hopping the turnstiles, anything of that nature. Basically, trolling people who are living check to check. Do I condone hopping the turnstile and things of that nature? No, but I understand it, okay? Living in the city with gentrification, people can hardly afford to live. And you raise the fare, and then you're gonna get your goons to make sure that everything goes smoothly and that people who can hardly survive are paying for this. So the MTA, shake my head number 9 goes to Carol Sanchez, her boyfriend, and the other 3 idiots that sat down and thought it was a good idea to plan out a fake abduction just because she didn't want to go all the way back to Honduras. Amber Alerts were put out. It was all over the news, all over social media. Celebrities even retweeted, reposted. I mean, I was emotional when I saw this. I was emotional all the next day. I had my alerts on because I wanted to know if she was found. Then she was found, and I was so happy. I was like, yes, something has gone right for one of these kids who were abducted. Only to find out that it was fake. They already don't believe us. She just made it worse for all of us and herself. I'm sorry. Shake my head award number 8 goes to the American government and Donald Trump, of course, for holding children in cages with no emotional care, with no medical care, without the love of a parent, without the protection and safety of a parent. Separating children at borders, losing them, and honestly, I really believe that those kids that they can't find have been sold, okay? This border patrol situation is also being treated like private prisons, because honestly, they can just send these people back. The families, they can just deport them, but they decide to keep them here for what purpose exactly? There's somebody making money off this, and they all get to shake my head. Shake my head award number 7 goes to T.I. for checking his daughter's hymen every year. Ooh. What in the Handmaid's Tale is going on here? I thought this was 2019, not 1776. Listen, if you don't trust your children, maybe you should do things like have conversations with them, educate them, be a better husband to your wife. But that's none of my business. Show your children what a real man is supposed to be. And maybe then they'll see good examples that they'll want. T.I., you expeditiously get to shake my head. Shake my head number 6 goes to Tekashi 6ix9ine for being a snitch. When he came on the scene, he was a hardened hooligan. He was a part of the Bloods gang. He was a troll. But soon as they got those cuffs on him, he flipped like a fish in the dirt. He told us about the Bloods. He snitched on the Crips. He told us where Area 51 was. I was waiting for him to tell us who shot JFK. Tekashi 6ix9ine, for getting all your people thrown in prison and thinking you was gonna be the only person to get off, you get to shake my head. Shake my head number 5 goes to the judge and everybody in that courtroom for their crazy displays of forgiveness, affection, consoling. A murderer. This lady murdered Botham Jean in cold blood. She lied about it. They try to put things out about Botham Jean to assassinate his character. She wasn't sorry, and she was a racist. But it's okay. We're gonna hug her. We're gonna hug her. The judge is gonna hug her. The court officer is gonna caress her hair. It just made no sense. I've never seen a black person who murdered somebody in a family get forgiveness. I've never seen a family ask if they were going to forgive this black person. Never. I've never seen a judge get off the bench and hug a murderer. But for this woman, this is what they did. I guess those privileged tears will do it to you every time. To you guys, especially the judge, you get to shake my head. Shake my head number 4 to the writers and directors of Game of Thrones for pulling off the biggest con of the decade. You had us at a sweet hello, but the parting was extremely bitter. I don't know what happened. We saw prophecies. We were making predictions. We were getting attached to different characters. We cried when they died. We thought there's still hope because Jon Snow is still alive. And at the end of it, everybody went crazy and the good people went into exile. I don't know whose idea this was. And I'm pretty sure because George R.R. Martin did not finish that book, this is partly his fault too. So Dan and Dave and George, y'all all get to shake my head. Shake my head number 3 goes to R. Kelly, the king of R&PP, for being in denial and over dramatic. He told us he's fighting for his life, but what about all those girls you victimized? All his enablers, all the parents who knew his reputation and still brought their children to him also deserve a shake my head. His lawyers and all the people who turned a blind eye to what was going on, y'all all deserve a shake my head. But right now, R. Kelly was finally being brought to justice, and money, or lack thereof, I guess, can't save him anymore. And all these people are coming out of the woodworks and doing documentaries, writing books. It's just a sad case all around. I know we make fun of it a lot of times, but honestly, it really is sad. There's a lot of things that are going on in industry that is just, it's ridiculous. And y'all all deserve to shake my head. Shake my head number 2 goes to Jussie Smollett for faking a homophobic and racist attack and calling himself the gay Tupac. Apparently, he wasn't being oppressed enough. Like, we all don't have racial issues in this country enough. You mean to tell me 2 white men went all the way to Chicago in sub-zero degree weathers looking for you? And they watch Empire? Come on, son. His story began to fall apart in a matter of weeks, and then we found out that it was 2 Nigerian brothers helping him out. We saw the MAGA hat. We saw the rope. We saw the bleach. And we saw the BS. Jussie Smollett, you get to shake my head. Shake my head number 1. Yes, number 1 goes to the racist Cheeto-in-chief, of course, Donald J. Trump, for being a clown. Listen, he is the 3rd president to ever be impeached. He's the first president to have half his cabinet in prison or under investigation for something. He's also the first president to have his followers and disciples attack his political opponents. And he's the only president to ever be a straight up clown. So for all that, for putting children in cages, for building more of these border facilities to give your friends money, of course, for having another country interfere in our elections, and then trying to do it again, and then trying to bribe another country, you get to shake my head. Shake my head award honorable mention 2010 to 2019. It's been a crazy decade filled with scandals, legends dying, Prince, Carrie Fisher, Alan Thicke, Whitney Houston, Muhammad Ali, to police brutality, to white supremacy at an all-time high, to mass shootings at an all-time high. Just everything. This decade has been a doozy. Things have been crazy, and sometimes things can feel hopeless, but we can't go into the next decade without hope. People don't survive without hope. So I hope that we can heal from whatever we're grieving through, whatever heartaches we've been through. I hope that we can move on, be our own bosses, be entrepreneurs, make music, be an artist, be a dancer, do what your heart desires. It's not always about the 9 to 5. I know we're in a rat race, I know, but there are so many opportunities at our fingertips. Go for it. I'm trying to go for mine. It's not easy. I always have people telling me, not a lot of people, thank God, but I always have people telling me that it's unrealistic. It's okay. I'm going to do it anyway. And I just hope that you guys do too. Thank you so much for letting me entertain you every single year. And I'm going to continue, God willing. See you guys next year.
Shoulders will be the death of us. Promises we made.